Selling agents are bluffing. A lot of the time, selling agents will push you into a corner and try and force you into making an offer on the property that they're presenting. They're going to try and create this pressure cooker environment and scarcity mindset when it comes to buying a property. But in this video, we're going to break down directly how selling agents try and use these tactics and how you can overcome and tell when an agent might be bluffing and gain an advantage in the negotiation approach to buying a property. Now, my name's Luke and I run a buyer's agency called Purpose Property who help everyday Australians purchase in Queensland or Victoria at this point in time. I've been running the buyer's agency for over 5 years and professionally investing since 2018. So I'm going to be sharing with you my insider tips and thoughts about these different areas and how agents might be bluffing. Number one is how they answer price questions. If you simply ask the question, where do you see this selling? And they give you a vague or deflected answer, there's usually a gap between the guide price and the seller's expectations. A selling agent should be able to confidently tell you where comparable sales sit and where the property sits in terms of market value. If they're not, they may be more ambiguous or bluffing as to where actual market value sits, and they may be trying to talk down their seller while they talk up buyers so that they can get a deal together. I think it's important that selling agents are open and honest with you and should be able to give you comparable sales. And if they can't, just be wary that the seller's expectations might be unrealistic or the sales agent might not have a true understanding of market value of the property. A hot tip there is to also look at realestate.com.au price guides. If an agent doesn't put the price guide on the property, you can filter the property in terms of price brackets and find out exactly where that hidden price is on realestate.com.au to at least give you a starting point. But the selling agent should be able to give you a price guide, even if they put contact agent on the price when they list it online. Number two is how quickly an agent follows you up. Every agent's going to have a different process, but one of the ways you can get a better gauge of how the marketing campaign is working for a property is how quickly they follow you up for your thoughts or pushing for an offer on that property. If there's motivation, they'll be pushing to get offers on the table. And so if there's no follow-up at all, they may already have other offers out there. We say to our buyers, timing is very important when it comes to buying property. We can buy a property before it hits the weekend. We've done that several times with buyers. I've even done that recently myself because we were able to give the agent an offer that was reasonable, realistic, and upfront. And so this communication is very important to get a gauge of how the selling agent is marketing the property and how much other real interest is on the home in terms of other offers out there. Now, the third point comes down to qualitative analysis of the agent around their tone. How do they speak when it comes to conditions on the property? So you should always ask an agent about clauses that will and won't be accepted. A lot of the time, say a property is providing a building and pest report. Therefore, in most circumstances, selling agents will say, you can probably do a building and pest, but we won't want that as part of the offer terms. And this is quite a common strategy. You also want to talk to them about finance clauses or any special conditions if you want early access. See how open the agent is to these terms. How many days do they want on the contract? Are they open to other clauses like early access? The agent wants to keep control and minimize the risk for their seller, and so they're ideally going to want as close to an unconditional contract as possible. But if they're flexible on terms, you may be able to get a better deal for yourself. Now, one of the ways I did this recently was by extending the settlement days significantly. I bought multiple properties across Queensland and Victoria, and those deals in Victoria, I was able to get 60 or even 90-day settlements to allow me to ride growth out, not pay the debt, and lock in the contract price for the property. I can think of the deal I bought in Thomastown in Melbourne on the north side. It was at auction and we agreed a 90-day settlement. That means I didn't have to pay for the debt on the property for another 3 months and locked in that contract price in the meantime. And this means you can essentially get free market growth for the 3 months that I controlled the asset. And so that's just one thing to consider is talk to the agent about the terms that you would like, see what the sellers are open to, and try and get favorable terms, but also you want to get the deal done. Number 4 leans into the agent and the way they act. What is their body language like? Are they confident? Are they relaxed? Are they able to show, composure when you're asking them these detailed questions about the home? Or are they overly eager? Are they pushing you or defensive when it comes to questions? I've seen many an agent stressed because they're coming to the end of their term on a property and they just want to get it sold. They want to bank their commission. So reading an agent's body language is a genuine way to understand how a property is positioned and how the agent is going to handle the negotiation scenario. Number 5 is, how are they talking to other buyers? Can you overhear them saying, oh, there's lots of interest in the property, or we're going to run an auction campaign, and so you need to be there on the day, or we're running a blind auction essentially where you use an online bidding platform. Make sure you have your ear to the ground when it comes to that advice being put out to other buyers in the open home. We teach our staff and train our managers, and I did this myself, to always be within earshot of the agent as you walk through the home and to always try and pick up on these tidbits of information. These little bits of information can mean the difference between you getting the property and not getting the property. I always suggest that you push the agent to see where your offer is ranked. They might not want to tell you the price that you're at compared to other buyers, but if you can at least get a ranking, if there's 5 offers on the table and you're ranked 3rd, you can then ask the agent where you might need to be first on the property, or increase your offer incrementally to get feedback as to where you might sit again in the ranking once you've increased your offer price. So all of these tips can lead to you getting a better deal together and pushing the agent to buy the property that you really want to buy. Now, when it comes to reading agents, they're not the enemy. And I think this is probably the most important, and the 6th tip here is that agents are not your enemy. They're everyday people. Treat them like real people. Yes, selling agents have a stigma to be greasy and slimy, but in my experience as a professional buyer's agent, being on the buying side, and I don't have a background as a real estate agent. My background is as a chartered accountant. I worked in audit and then as a financial controller, and then started the buyer's agency around 5.5, 6 years ago. But in my experience, and my staff's experience as well, being professional buyer's agents with myself and 2 managers and 9 to 10 associates now, the reality is selling agents want to work with you. And if you're open, honest, and trustworthy, and you can build rapport with the agents, you can get access to deals that are often pre-market, and you can potentially get on-market deals across the line based on building the rapport with the agent. We've done this a lot across Southeast Queensland. We're doing this continually in the Victorian market as we build out our base there. And for us, it's about that longevity. We're not here for a short time. We're here to treat you like a human being, and we understand that you act in the best interest of the seller. The selling agent is not there to be your friend, but they are a professional. Most of them are going to act professionally, and just treat them with genuine respect and look to get a deal done. I think this is one of the biggest things that I've done in my journey, is I've always approached it to the selling agent. How can we help you get what you want and I can get what I want? And so that's where we mix the price and terms and timelines to get a deal that works for everyone. And that's how you get more deals together and essentially launch yourself into a property portfolio. Now, if you do this time and time again, like I've done, I currently own 10 properties worth about $12.5 million. And I'm doing multiple deals this year as well. And so this builds and snowballs more and more over time. You get an understanding of these qualitative factors around negotiating with agents, around how they reflect and how they body language even impacts and what they're saying to other buyers. All these things add up to giving you an edge time after time. It's all those 1%ers that give you that greater edge to get more deals done and to get the right investment or home opportunities that you're looking for. If you do want help buying in Queensland or Victoria, head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a chat with myself, and click this video over here for more things real estate, renovating, and financial freedom. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.